What's up, my YouTube people? Forgive me if I don't be looking in the camera.
Speed warning.
I got business I gotta handle. Anyways, stirring in my mind because I have another friend who drives truck, and he's pretty new into the game, and he was ranting and talking about how he just switched from Swift to another company, and how
Speed warning.
the other company was not, or the new company is kind of screwing him around. So today's video is about when to job hop and when to suck it up. Because there's a time and a place for both, right? There's time and place to, just deal with the punches, and there's times where you gotta punch back, right? So this gentleman, he worked for Swift, and while working for Swift, he was telling me he wasn't getting very many miles, and he was doing a lot of layovers and this, that, and the other. So he left Swift to go to this other company. The grass is always greener on the other side kind of thing. But he went to this other company that offered him a substantial cent per mile raise. Well, he got to that other company, and that other company, I guess, has been doing some shady things. And I believe this gentleman, because I worked for that company in the very beginning, and this company that's supposed to be a good company really wasn't good at all when I went to work for them. They basically, offered you the world, made all these promises, and then when it came time to fulfill those promises, they were like, oh no, we didn't say that. The typical recruiter thing. Promise you one thing, and then, well, sorry, but things have changed, type of thing.
Speed limit reduced ahead.
I digress. Anyways, so he was telling me how he was offered all this stuff, but he didn't have a full year driving truck. He only had, I think he said 7 months driving truck. So with going to this new company, he would have to go with a trainer, which is fine,
In 1 mile, keep to the left.
I had to do training with pretty much every single company I worked for in the first 3 years. Jesus. Every new company has some level of training sometimes, depending on what you're doing. But this gentleman, they put him in with his trainer, and they're running him as basically a team. So there's no real training going on, One driver's sleeping, the other one's driving. And then they just flip. So there's no real training like that. You're not getting trained if the other guy is sleeping. And basically, they're paying him $500 a week
Curve ahead.
to run as a team. And if you've been in the business at any amount of time, you know that $500 a week as a team driver is a joke. That's slave wages, man. Slave wages.
In 900 feet, keep to the left.
Or indentured servant wages, whatever you want to call it.
0.9 miles.
So, and they're telling him he's going to have to do it for like 6 weeks. It's like, oh my goodness, man. Hell to the no. I would not do that. No, absolutely not. You're not going to take me in a truck over the road 7 days a week. And with him, you know, he's having to do his 34-hour resets out of state because his trainer is from out of state. So, of course, the trainer wants to be home for his 34 or whenever he gets his days off. And this dude is just sitting in a truck, not getting paid on, you know, because he's on a 34-hour reset. Yeah, so that is just bullshit. And you have to have self-respect, right? You have to respect yourself. Because these trucking companies are not going to respect you. They're never going to pay you what you're worth. They'll never pay you what you're worth. You just got to force them to pay as much as you possibly get them to pay you. And it makes no sense to just sit around and bitch about it if you're not getting paid what you think you should get paid. If you feel that deep down in your soul or in your heart, in your mind, whatever, that you are getting screwed around and you're not getting paid what you should get paid for what you're doing, then quit. Quit your job and work somewhere else, right? That's where, you know, it's time to throw in, time to job hop. Another time to job hop is if your company is trying to make you do illegal things or make you do things that are dangerous. And believe you me, people, I've had it happen to me. That first company I was telling you about, they tried to make me do a couple of illegal things when I was brand new out of CDL school, not knowing nothing. You know, super terrified of losing my job or getting fired or not wanting to job hop and this and that the other. And you know, they would threaten my job if I even questioned them about taking a load. Even though, like, right now, looking back, I should have told them to fuck off, because the things that they were trying to get me to do were potentially dangerous to me and dangerous to other people. You know, operating subprime quality vehicles or trailers. Operating trailers that should have been put in for maintenance, but since that was the only trailer available, or if that trailer was dropped off by someone else and that trailer obviously wasn't pre-tripped or post-tripped correctly, and that trailer is now loaded and set to go, they expected me to go, even with maintenance issues. And when I first started, I didn't know exactly what to do. I was brand new. I was afraid to lose my job, so I did what they told me to do. And well, I was wrong. I was wrong. I should have told them no. But I didn't know any better. Like I said, I didn't want to job hop. I didn't want to lose my job. I wanted to be a dependable employee and do good. So that being said, being a little wiser, a little older, when something comes up like that, when someone tells you you have to take something like that, you know, send them a message on the Qualcomm saying, hey, this is, or whatever device you have, saying this is not right, this equipment is broken, blah, blah, blah. If they say, oh, you have to take it anyways, make sure you get a copy of that thing. If the maintenance issue is bad enough that it can get you a ticket or an out of service or God forbid cause an accident, you need to refuse. And if you have to, tell them that you need to contact the safety department. Because believe it or not, the safety department on something like this will most likely be on your side. If they're not on your side, then it's time to say, you know what? I'm not staying around. I'm not going to work for you guys. And you just got to do it like that. Now, most of the time, there's going to be warnings. You're not going to, a company is going to most likely try little things to see how far they can push you. But the bigger the company is, the less they're going to care, and they'll just try to ask you to do anything. So you got to be firm, fair, and consistent on yourself and be like, no, I'm not doing this. And if you need to fire me, then fire me. That's what you need to be like. Because at the end of the day, let's say you even got proof that you told them this is damaged, blah, blah, blah. And you take that trailer or you take that truck and you end up hurting somebody, yeah, they might lose their job because they told you to do this, but your ass is going to jail. Right? Your ass is going to jail. Or you're getting the ticket. You're going to get the citation. That dispatcher, they might lose their job, but they'll go work at McDonald's or some other trucking company or whatever, because that record isn't going to follow them. Like a record on your license is going to follow you, or a criminal record is going to follow you because you made the decision to listen to some dummy sitting behind a computer that's never driven a truck in their life. So you got to take responsibility for yourself with that. So those are two reasons of when to jump ship, in job hop. Now, depending on how bad it is, if it's minor things, but still bad enough you decide, okay, it's time for me to go somewhere else to do better, or you just want to do better for yourself because whatnot, try to secure your next job before you quit. Find your other job first and then quit. So, you take your punches, you suck it up a little bit, and then you go to the other job. Or, if you just don't give a damn, or if it's a safety issue, like I said, take the truck back, take the truck to the yard or wherever. Make sure you bring it back to the company, because you don't want them saying you abandoned a vehicle. But make sure you bring it back, turn in your keys, and say, you know what? It's not happening, and this is why. And I guarantee you, 99% of other companies that you apply to, and they ask you, if they even ask you, because most of the time they won't, but even if they ask you, why are you leaving the company? And you say, they were trying to make me drive equipment that was dangerous or out of service, should have been out of service, or would cause a CSA score, they're going to be like, oh yeah, that's not cool. It'll be fine. It's as simple as that. Now, there's some other times where you might just need to suck it up. Maybe it's a good company. Maybe you got a good dispatcher. Maybe you got good equipment. But maybe the pay just isn't quite there. But at the same time, you don't really have the experience to get anything better. like my buddy that was driving for Swift. You know, I know Swift isn't perfect. No big company is perfect, and the pay isn't great. Of course, you can go to other places that make much more money. But when you are brand new CDL holder, Class A truck driver, and you don't quite have the experience and knowledge to know what to do, sometimes it's better to work for one of those big carriers like Swift or Knight or not CR England or just, but like Swift or Knight or some of those other bigger companies that are willing to kind of hold your hand, you know, and guide you through your first year, so you have people to call when things are not quite right. And I tell you, you get to some of these higher paying companies, so-called higher paying companies that are smaller. They don't have as many trucks, and that means they don't have as many dispatchers. And so you might not always have somebody to call when you have a question or you need help. You know, I guarantee you, it's Swift. I guarantee you there's someone near that phone. You might have to wait a little bit, but there's someone going to be there and answer that phone call when you need help or you have a question. The smaller companies, a lot of those guys, they expect you to know things you should know, and a lot of the questions that a new driver is going to have, and you won't even know what those questions are until you come across it, until you come across a situation that you realize you don't know what the fuck's going on. And it happens to everybody. I don't care who the hell you are. When you start off, you might think you know a lot, but as soon as you get out there, you're going to find out how much you really don't know, and it's going to happen really fast and sudden. You're going to have questions. So in that kind of situation, that's the time, you know, to just kind of suck it up. You know, you're not in a dangerous situation. Sure, you would like to make a little bit more money, but you don't quite have the knowledge yet. So then you suck it up. And as you get your knowledge, and your abilities to operate that truck is much better, and to problem solve your own troubles while you're out on the road, as those get better, that's when you start looking for the better paying trucking jobs. You know, that's when it's time to say, yeah, I'm definitely not making enough money for what I'm worth. Because, you know, it's all about what are you worth. That's what it comes down to. So, then again, like I was saying, if you're at a place and you know they're paying you garbage, they're they're paying you way less than you're worth. And I'm telling you now, if you've got over 6 months of experience and you can halfway, back a truck into a dock and figure things out, you're definitely worth a lot more than $500 a week. And I'm talking gross. He's making $500 a week gross. Yeah, you're definitely worth a lot more than that. So I would not stick around for something like that. Now, you going for a company like Swift, there's a good chance you're going to be making $800 gross. And you're not going to need the knowledge that a experienced driver has, because you're going to have resources. So, like I'm saying, if you're getting paid garbage, yeah, don't put up with that. Move on. Find something better and move on. If they're trying to make you do dangerous things, move on. Don't stick around for that. if you're just trying to get your experience down and, you know, they're treating you halfway fairly, and stick around. Do it. Because I guarantee you, there's no perfect truck driving job anywhere. Every single trucking job has its issues. You know, every single one. I've never seen a perfect truck driving job. And that's my 2 cents, peoples, for your success. When to jump ship, say, you know, enough is enough, and when to stick it out. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Am I right, or am I wrong? If you experienced guys are there, what do you think? Do you stick around for a company that's paying you way less than you're worth? Do you stick around for a company that asks you to do questionable things that could possibly get you a citation? Or do you say, you know what, screw you guys, I'm going home, get a different job? What do you think? Tell in the comments below. Tell me your 2 cents. Give these newer truck drivers some knowledge, because I'm telling you what, I got a lot of knowledge when I first started off, listening to other truck drivers and then reading the comments. It helped out a lot. It helped me more than I could ever thank the people. It was amazing. So thank you for everybody. God bless. Keep watching, because I'm going to be putting up a lot more videos a lot more often. Because the longer I've been doing this, the more knowledge I feel I have to share. And yeah, thanks for being here. I mean, you could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here watching this. So thank you very much. God bless.